Howdy funky people, welcome to another Hades 2 mythology video. Don't worry, there's no order, just pick the video for the characters you want to learn about. Today we're talking about Arachne, and while she's not a god, she has a good story that warns you why you shouldn't mess with gods, and the falls associated with hubris. I wanted to tell this one next instead of Hecate or Kronos, because most of the gods in Hades 2 I covered in my Greek Gods Iceberg videos. There are a few characters in myth that are just as important as the gods without actually being gods themselves. But because these characters aren't gods, I haven't covered them yet. So I'm very excited for this one. This one is one of my favorite Greek myths. So here we are. Who is Arachne? In Hades 2, we encounter an adorable little spider. She's a little annoyed with us for trampling on her webs that she took so long to build. But when she discovers it was Melanoe stepping into her home, she stops being concerned with her webs, saying,
"What are you doing here? Besides tramping all over my webs, that is." "Oh, it's nothing, silly. I can always make more perfectly good silk. I can't always see you."
She then goes on to offer us beautiful garbs she made for us by herself, and she doesn't even charge us for them. But Arachne wasn't always this sweet, adorable little spider. There was a time when she wasn't even a spider. So how did she become a spider? What horrible thing must she have done to make a god punish her in this way? Would you believe me if I told you this form was a gift? Our story starts a long time ago, like many stories do, but this one with a woman named Arachne. She was a simple but gifted woman, being the daughter of a shepherd, but with an ability to weave the finest fabrics. She practiced this skill day in and day out. She loved to weave, and quickly became a master at it. So good, in fact, she often bragged that her skill to spin thread and weave cloth was better than Athena herself. Which is a bold boast, as Athena is a goddess of many abilities, and one of these was weaving. Athena, being a god, took great offense to Arachne's boasts and decided to visit Arachne herself. She needed to see the fabrics that rivaled her own in person. So she visited Arachne in the form of an old woman, looked up and down across Arachne's shop, inspecting the fabrics herself. And she said to Arachne, "Careful about your bragging, child. The gods aren't kind to those who show hubris. It's best now to present yourself before Athena in a temple and beg for forgiveness." Arachne rejected the old woman and her warning and said, "If Athena were to wish me to stop, then surely she'd appear in person to do so." Athena shed her mortal disguise and appeared in a form that would assure Arachne that she was in fact Athena, the god that Arachne dared to try to humiliate. Arachne recognized her and still didn't care. If Athena showed in person, then it confirmed to Arachne that she was the better weaver. Why else would it bother Athena so much as to show herself here? She was obviously threatened. Arachne made fun of her for this. "Are you so threatened by the concept of a mortal being better than you that you had to show here in person? I didn't think gods were so delicate." Athena, being a god who wasn't shy of contest and fighting, wasted no time in challenging her rival to a contest. "Fine, mortal. Could you think yourself better than I? Then I will put you in your place like so many gods and mortals have done before." Leading up to the contest, Arachne's friends, family, and more told her that it wasn't too late. You can always ask the gods for forgiveness, but Arachne had a reputation, and one she wasn't about to let down. The day of the contest comes, and Athena and Arachne weave to the best of their ability. Arachne used her craft to take shots at the gods, mocking their many mistakes, for the gods weren't as infallible as they'd like to appear. She weaved images of gods misleading mortals, abusing them, and the many cases of gods seducing mortal women. Athena too weaves a tapestry mocking Arachne, showing depictions of the many mortals who also dared to mock a god. This tapestry wasn't just an insult though. It was a warning of the fate Arachne might meet if she were to continue. She wove images of gods turning men into mountains, Hera turning Garana into a crane for claiming to be more beautiful than her, Hera turning another into a stork for daring to compete with her, and another human petrified. The warning went unheeded, and for good reason. Arachne's tapestry was gorgeous, far better and more beautiful than Athena's. It appeared Athena had good reason to be jealous and threatened. This mortal surpassed a god, and this angered Athena to no end. She tore apart Arachne's work before her eyes, just before whacking her across the head several times with her shuttle. Despite winning, Arachne was humiliated, and felt so embarrassed and terrified of her fate that she hung herself. Athena saw this, and felt sorrow for her, and resolved to fix it. She was going to bring Arachne back to life. So Athena went to Hecate and retrieved an herb from her. With this herb, she squeezed and squeezed until the juice drizzled out and onto Arachne's head. Arachne's hair fell out. Her nose and ears fell off too. She began to shrink, and her fingers became her legs, and the rest became her belly. Rather than bringing Arachne back to life as a human, she became the first spider. She'd get to spend her whole day, and every day after, spinning thread and weaving webs and cloth, just as she did when she was alive. And so too would her children. There are a few other versions of this myth, of course, one being that Arachne was created from the beginning as a spider in order to teach humans how to weave. And another, Arachne was a student of Athena who learned to weave under her tutelage, but her brother Phalanx was taught how to fight Athena. But when the two siblings were alone, they engaged in intercourse. Disgusted by this, Athena turned both of them into spiders, so they could continue their disgusting relationship and be forced to be a creature that devours their own children. That last story is a little hypocritical, as the gods have no issue with committing incest. Either way, the best story is obviously the one where Arachne weaves circles around Athena. In Hades 2, Arachne is a sweet and pleasant little spider who is friends with Melanoe. She has 8 legs, 8 eyes, 2 of which are expressive like a human's, the other 6 being beautiful amber dots adorning her head like little jewels. She has 8 little legs each with little hands and feet covered with gold arm guards and bracelets. Her hair is white and with a little gold headband. She's very, very cute. In terms of accuracy, she's not a literal spider, which is good, as that might freak some people out. I showed her to some people with arachnophobia, and they just thought she was really cute. So, she's well designed. This is also probably the cutest way that you could anthropomorphize a spider. She's a little spider furry, and she's cute. Not a whole lot to say. She's accurate to mythology because she's a spider, and she weaves, but we don't see much of that boastful nature that she had in her myth. Maybe being a spider and winning mellowed her out. She's seriously very nice, and the meanest she gets is just slightly annoyed. I don't know which myth of Arachne she comes from, but if her hair fell out, that likely means that the hair she has is a wig she made. But that's it for Arachne. If you want to learn more about her, you'll just have to buy Hades 2 and play it for yourself. For now, this is the end of this one, but don't worry, we have lots of time, and that's when I'll see you next time.